A new bill in Congress would make everyone that owns suppressors a target of a federal possession ban. And that's not speculation. That's what the sponsor says this legislation is designed to do. Let's get into it. Based on the information released by Representative Watson Coleman, the 2026 version of the HERE Act appears to be one of the most aggressive federal suppressor proposals introduced in recent years. The bill is described as prohibiting the importation of suppressors, the manufacturing of suppressors, the sale of suppressors, the transfer of suppressors, and possession of suppressors itself. The possession ban is the biggest deal of all of this. Many gun control bills focus on future sales. This proposal reportedly goes even further by targeting the possession of the suppressor. If enacted exactly as described, the practical question becomes, what happens to the more than 2 million suppressors already registered with the federal government? Is there a grandfather clause? Are owners required to surrender them? Is compensation provided? Are there criminal penalties for continued possession? Those details matter enormously and would determine the real-world impact of this legislation. For years, the policy debate has centered on reducing the suppressor regulations. Supporters of deregulation argue suppressors reduce hearing damage, are commonly used by hunters and sport shooters, do not make firearms silent like Hollywood tries to make you believe. It just doesn't happen. That's not what they do. And they are heavily regulated through federal registration and background check requirements. The HERE Act flips that debate entirely by treating suppressors as devices that should not be legal for civilian ownership at all. So if Congress passed a nationwide possession ban, opponents would almost certainly challenge it under the Supreme Court's decision in the historical tradition framework established by the court in the modern Second Amendment cases. The likely arguments from opponents would be suppressors are commonly owned by law-abiding citizens. They are accessories that are used for lawful purposes. There is little historical tradition on banning them outright. Supporters would likely argue that suppressors are uniquely dangerous devices that can be regulated or prohibited in the interest of public safety. The courts would ultimately decide whether a possession ban survives constitutional scrutiny. Even if introduced, the bill faces several hurdles: the House passage, the Senate passage, and then the president has to sign that. And you know that's not going to happen. Given the current divide in Congress on firearms policy, a nationwide suppressor ban would face significant political resistance. At the same time, its introduction demonstrates that some lawmakers are not merely seeking stricter regulation, they are openly advocating for eliminating civilian suppressor ownership altogether. A key point that many of you may not realize is that this is not a proposal to tighten suppressor regulations. Based on the sponsor's description, it is a proposal to end the legal civilian market by banning manufacture, importation, transfer, sale, and possession. That's a fundamentally different policy objective than expanding background checks or increasing registration requirements. To stay up to date with what's going on, to follow this case, go ahead and hit that like button and subscribe so you know exactly what's going on, to see if you may be eventually the target of a federal possession ban.